Hello my friends, welcome back to another Vinyasa practice. This class is going to be slightly longer as we're working up into two peak poses. The first being our Pincha Mayurasana, our feather peacock pose, otherwise known as Forearm Stand, and our Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow or wheel pose. So we're going to be opening a lot through the shoulders and the spine today, as well as kind of strengthening the full body and the core. It's going to be pretty dynamic and fun and challenging at moments. So I hope that you enjoy it. We are going to begin in a seat for some pranayama breath work. So if you wanted to sit up on something, maybe a block or a pillow, then please feel free to. Otherwise, maybe you come into a cross-legged position or you could come into a kneeling position. We'll take a moment to check in before we begin to practice our Kapalabhati breath, our skull shining breath. Invite the eyes to close down. And take a couple of full, deep breaths. Starting to expand the breath into the belly, the ribs and the chest. And as you feel that exhale come out of the nose, can you soften the eyebrows a little bit and any tension that you're holding in the face? Allow the mind to gradually start to join us here on our mat. So maybe it starts to notice what the breath feels like today. And how the body feels like. Also just starting to witness the mind and the more subtle body, any feelings or emotions or energies that are present right now. Without any attachment, can you become curious about what's holding space? Each day is going to be a little bit different in terms of our landing point, how we turn up into our practice. And it's really important to remember that our practice of yoga meets us wherever we are, whenever we are ready to turn up. Our Kapalabhati breath, our skull shining breath, is a quite active form of breath work. It helps to kind of activate and cleanse and to kind of lift our energy up. And it is a passive inhale through the nose, but it is an active exhale through the nose. And you can almost imagine like you're being punched in the stomach, and that's forcing the air to come out. So you contract through the abdominals to force the air to shoot out of the nose. Now, if you do have a cold, maybe you don't practice this, or make sure you blow your nose before you do this. I have been in that situation before. I will begin, and you can have a look and see what it looks like for you, or you can just join in. I'll only do about 10. And once you've done your completed number of breaths, you just take a deep breath in through the nose, deep breath out through the nose. Okay? So the first round, we're going to try about 25. If this at any point felt uncomfortable, then please feel free to let this go. This is your practice. We'll begin with a big breath in through the nose. Take a couple of deep breaths in between. And you could stick with that number, you could reduce, you could add on. I'm going to try 50. If you'd like to join me for that, you're more than welcome to. It's quite a big number. If you forget to count, that's okay as well. You can just continue in my count. We will try that one more time, and you can choose any number from 10 to 50, whatever works with you, when you're ready. Letting any tension soften in the face, in the shoulders. We find a little bit of alertness through the spine. If you've closed your eyes, begin to open them again. We will find our way into Balasana, child's pose. So maybe you bring the knees closer towards each other, or maybe they're slightly further out. Toes are towards each other. Extend your fingertips out long and let your forehead drop down towards the earth. And try and make the hand active here. So press through the palm, press through the fingertips. Feel the sides of the shoulder drop down towards the ground, so you're spreading the shoulder blades wide. Take another breath in this position. And then keeping the head down, start to wander the fingertips forward, lifting the hips over or off your heels. And you keep walking forward until your hips land above the knees for puppy pose. Big extension through the spine, as well as extending the shoulders and the arms. If you're feeling pretty open, you might be able to start to lift the eye gaze in between your hands. Maybe the chin grazes on the ground. But if you feel any tension in the spine or the neck, then please release this. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Enjoying this moment of stillness before we kind of pick up the pace a little bit. Before we do, you could keep your hands on the ground or start to bend your elbows, press the palms towards each other, and try and meet the thumbs towards the back of the neck. You might walk your elbows in a little bit more to help open through the triceps and the lats. Can you dive the heart space down a little bit more? Land the hands back out in front. Really press the forearms down into the ground. Shift your weight forward. Breathing in, rippling through the spine. Lower the hips down until you find Sphinx pose. Supported Bhujangasana, Salamba Bhujangasana. Press the elbows down, press the fingertips down. Breathe in, lift through the crown of the head. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale to hold. Start to press through the elbows, lift the hips up into a supported plank. Breathing in here. Exhale to hold. Lower the hips down. Breathe in as you open through the heart. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades back. Breathe in as you press up into the knees, long spine here. Exhale to hold. Just one more like that. Breathe in as you lower down, lift through the crown of the head. Exhale to hold. Imagine like elbows were pulling back towards your ribs. Inhale, press up onto your knees. Option this time to tuck onto your toes. Lift the knees off the ground. Push the heels away so you're active through the legs. Lift out of the arms. Start to tuck the ribs towards the hips, so you're engaging through the core. And then start to shift forward and back a little bit. Spreading your fingertips wide so you might catch some weight as you shift forward. And if you're on your knees here, maybe you just hold, okay? Finding that core strength. Option here, if you wanted to, is to lift your right toes off the ground just a little bit, creating 3 points of balance on the ground, which is going to help ignite our core strength a bit more. Try one more breath here. If your right toes are up, swap it down. Lift the left toes up. Breathe in as you shift the weight forward. Exhale, shift the weight back. Just 2 more breaths like that. Tap the left toes down. Start to draw the heels down towards the left. Open your body up towards the right and reach the right hand forward. You might want to wander your left hand in a little bit more here for support. And you can always bring the left knee down here as well. Lift your hips up as high as you can. Reach your fingertips as far down as you can. One more breath. Let's change sides. So right fingertips might be facing forward, or turn it slightly on the 45. Left fingertips reach up and over. You want to create as much of a side bend through the left side body here as you can. One more breath. Squeeze the glutes. Bring the elbow back down. Bring the knees down. Walk yourself back. Swing your feet around. And then bring the feet in front of you. Hands come behind you. Turn the fingertips towards you. Lift through the chest. Now you could stay down on the ground or start to push the heels down as you lift the hips up high. Breathing in here. And then as you exhale, lower down. Let's try that again. Breathe in and lift. Exhale to lower. One more time like that. Breathe in and lift. Push through the full foot. Engage the glutes. Exhale to lower. You could stick with this or start to flip your right hand away. Breathe in as you reach your left hand up towards the sky. Exhale to lower. Swap the hands around. Breathe in as you lift the right hand high. Exhale to lower down. If you felt like a little bit more already, you can start to reach the left hand behind you, lifting your hips up a little bit more. But know that this is still pretty early on in our practice, so you can just work with where you are today. Well, that was a nice crack. Let's try one more each side. It's always nice when you feel something like that. One more. Come down onto your hips. Extend the legs out long and then lower the lower back towards the ground for a dish hold. Now you might have your knees more bent here. The shoulders are lifted off the ground. And if you felt like a little bit more, clasp your hands together and then start to push the palms away, either towards the sky or take the hands slightly above your head. We're going to start to kick the feet. Lifting your chest up. We're going to hold here for about 3 more breaths. As much as you can, lift the shoulders a little bit more. For 2 more breaths. And then lower all the way down to the belly. Bring the feet close towards the hips, onto your back. Hands by your sides, start to press through your heels, lift your hips up high. Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, lower yourself down. Go the hands behind the back of the legs. Roll yourself up. Extend your legs out long. Another moment of stillness. Breathing in, lifting tall. And then as you exhale, fold yourself forward. Now you might have your knees bent here, or you might have your legs a little bit longer. Paschimottanasana, stretch of the waist. Take a deep breath in, find a little bit more length here. Maybe lifting through the crown of the head, reaching the chest forward. Exhale to fold forward again. One more breath. Walk yourself back, cross over the legs, plant the hands down. We find our way back into downward facing dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Spread the fingertips wide and maybe you pedal out the feet here, dropping one heel down and then dropping the other heel down. So this is such a great asana, a great posture to open through the shoulders and the spine as well as the back of the legs. But we always want to prioritize the length of the spine rather than straightening our legs. So bend your knees a little bit. Push your hips up and back, pressing each fingertip down into the ground, shifting the shoulders back as well. And then you might be able to start to lengthen the legs. Use your next breath in, sweep the right toes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, step the right foot halfway up your mat. Breathe in as you sweep the left toes high now, three-legged dog, or more like standing splits here. Exhale, step the left foot in between your hands. Breathe in, sweep the right toes high, standing splits. You could stay with fingertips on the ground or start to lift your chest up a little bit more. Again, you could stay here or reach the fingertips behind you, lift the chest up a little bit more. And then begin to open the chest and open the eye gaze towards the front. Engage the back of the body. Squeeze the glute to lift the right foot up a little bit higher. Imagine like your hands were trying to reach towards your back foot. Use your next breath in. Sweep the right knee up towards the chest. Stalk pose, hands reach overhead. Exhale, plant the right foot down, cactus out the arms. Take a little baby back bend here. Breathe in as you lift the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, bend your knees and fold yourself forward. Uttanasana. Hands to shins, breathe in as you lift halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground, step yourself back into plank. Breathe in as you shift your weight forward. As you exhale, we lower for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down onto your belly, untuck the toes. Breathe in for baby cobra. Option hands down or hands lifted. Exhale to hold. Take another deep breath in. And then as you exhale, come down, either knees or toes. With the knees lifted, we come up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in here. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Breathe in as you sweep your left toes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, roll forward, left foot steps halfway up the mat. Breathe in, right toe sweep high. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale as the left toe sweep high, standing splits. Draw the left hip down a bit, stay here, or start to lift the chest. Maybe the fingertips stay down on the ground, or you start to sweep them behind you. Aiming for about parallel with the body. And again, stay here or start to open the chest. You can almost imagine Shalabhasana, locust pose. You're trying to open and extend. Use your next breath in. Left knee draws up towards the chest, hands reach up. Exhale, plant the left foot, but open the elbows wide. Squeeze the glutes. Breathe in as you lift again. Exhale, ripple forward, fold down. Uttanasana. Hands to the shins, breathe in, lift halfway. As you exhale, hands to the ground, step back to plank. Take a deep breath in as you shift your weight forward. As you exhale, same thing, we lower for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down, Untight toes, breathe in, baby cobra. Maybe lift the hands off the ground. Exhale to hold. Breathe in, try use the strength of the back body to lift you up. As you exhale, come down, knees or toes, come up for 6, 5, embrace the core, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in here. Exhale, shift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 2 more rounds like that. Breathe in as you sweep your right toes high, 3-legged dog. You can either take 2 steps up to the top of the mat just like we did, or bend your knees, look forward, take a little handstand hop so that the left foot lands in between the hands. And you can take a couple of hops to get up there. Breathe in, start to lift up, maybe fingertips stay down, or start to reach the hands behind you. Lift the chest, trying to arch the spine, extending fingertips, extending toes. Breathe in, reach the right knee towards the chest, lift the arms. Exhale, right foot down, open the heart, draw the elbows back. Breathe in, lift up, look towards your thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the shins, breathe in, lift halfway. As you exhale, hands down, step it back. This time we'll move through your vinyasa. So you can go down halfway. Maybe you pull through to upward facing dog, or you can stay with baby cobra if you would like. Exhale, downward facing dog. When you're ready, breathe in, sweep the left toes high, 3-legged dog. Maybe you stay here and walk forward, or bend your right knee, look forward, take a little hop or a few hops towards the top of the mat. Placing the right foot down, lifting the back of the left foot. Breathe in as you lift up. Exhale, maybe the hands reach behind you. Start to look forward, draw the shoulder blades together. Left hip comes down a little bit. Breathe in as you lift the left knee up. Draw it as high as you can. Exhale, land to the left foot. Open the elbows, lift up. Breathe in, hands reach. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hands to the shins, breathe in, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down, your vinyasa. So maybe you take a little hop back. You can always play with any inversions along the way if you felt warm enough to do so. Once we've made it back into downward facing dog, you can stay here or start to lower one elbow down, maybe 2 elbows to find dolphin pose. Now, we might want the elbows in line with the shoulders and the hands. It's okay if they're slightly further out. This requires quite a bit of deep shoulder mobility. Bend your knees quite a bit more here because, again, we're trying to prioritize the length of the spine. Push the hands back down into the ground to draw the chest through. One more breath here. You can either walk to Uttanasana at the top of the mat or bend your legs, look forward. You'll pick up your elbows as you hop towards the hands. Folding forward, Uttanasana. We start a new flow. Breathe in, lift halfway. Exhale, fold again. Breathe in as you sweep your right knee up towards the chest. Arms come up. As you exhale, cactus out the arms, but push the right foot forward. Bend the left knee a little bit. Breathe in, sweep the right toes behind. Warrior 3. Exhale, just like we did before, open the chest, rotate the shoulders behind you, reach the hands away. Take a long step back with the right foot. Turn both heels in, toes out, so we're facing the right side of our mat. Take a deep breath in here as you sweep the left hand high. As you exhale, lean over towards the back of your mat, reaching your right hand forward. Stay here and then start to pivot your left toes in, left heel out. So we're meeting in our extended side angle pose. Right elbow could come down. If you felt like a little bit more, see if you can clasp your hands together and then push your hands away to the back of the mat. drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Take one more breath here. Try drop into the hips a little bit more. Lengthen both legs. Turn the toes in. Breathe in, lift tall through the spine. Exhale, fold forward, but then walk towards your left hand. Your left foot. Reaching both hands out in that direction. Drop the chest down. Push your hips up. One more breath. Start to walk towards the top of the mat. Right elbow is going to come down on that 45-degree angle, just like we did before. Drop the right heel towards the side. Left foot comes up and then behind to find Wild Thing. So left toes ground to the side of the mat. See if you can lift the hips. Option here to find a side plank. So you're facing more of the side, and the right knee can be down here as well. Breathe in, lift the hips a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, roll back through center. Elbows come down towards the ground to find forearm plank. Breathe in as you shift the weight forward. Exhale, come back. One more, breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Bring the knees down, lower the hips. Sphinx pose, breathe in, lift tall through the chest. As you exhale, maybe you stay here, or see if you can lift the hands off the ground. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, lower down your way back to downward facing dog. And maybe you stay in downward facing dog, or you can find dolphin pose here as well by bringing the elbows, maybe one, maybe two down. Bending the knees, pushing your hips back. One more breath. Either walk towards the top of the mat or look forward, bend your knees, breathe in. As you exhale, push up, lift the elbows, land and fold. Halfway left, breathe in. Exhale, fold again. Breathe in as you sweep the arms wide, lift the left knee high. As you exhale, cactus out the arms, push the left heel forward. Breathe in, sweep the left foot behind you, reach the hands behind. Exhale, warrior three. With a little twist, with a little lift. One more breath. Take a long step back with the left foot, turn the left heel in for goddess pose. But then breathe in, sweep the right hand high. As you exhale, side bend, reaching your left hand towards the front, right hand towards the back. Drop into your hips, let the knees press out over the toes. Stay low in the legs, but pivot your right heel out to find extended side angle. Left elbow could come towards the left thigh, or if you felt like a little bit more, clasp both hands together and then push the palms towards the back of the mat without lifting the shoulders up too much. One more. Come back through center. Turn the toes in. Breathe in, lift tall through the spine. Exhale, fold yourself forward, but then walk over towards your right foot. Reaching your hands in that direction. Pulling the left hip back. Feeling that left shoulder drop down a little bit more. One more breath. So you start to walk yourself forward, turn the right toes forward, left elbow comes down towards the ground. Draw the left heel down and keep pivoting yourself around. Maybe you stop in side plank, or keep lifting your right foot, taking it behind you, lifting the hips up, reaching the right hand forward. Squeeze the glutes, take another deep breath in. And then as you exhale, look forward, bring both of the elbows down towards the ground for forearm plank. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, shift back, squeeze the glutes. Breathe in, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Lower the knees towards the ground. Breathe in as you ripple forward, finding Sphinx. Lift tall through the spine. Exhale, maybe you stay here or you lift the hands off the ground. Breathe in here. Exhale, hands down. We're going to press up onto our knees and then send our hips back into child's pose. Just for a moment. Softening any tension in the face. I just want to make sure that we're not rushing here. Especially these movements, they take quite a bit of focus and energy. We want to be present with each movement and each breath along the way. And start to walk yourself back. You're going to bring your feet towards the side and then bring them out in front. Okay, just like we did before, hands could come down. You can lift the hips up like this. If you felt like more, again, turn your right hand away when you're ready. Pick up the left hand, breathe in. Maybe you lift it high. Maybe you lift it to the back of the mat. Exhale, lower down. Left hand down, breathe in as you lift the hips. Exhale as you lower down. If you felt like more, breathe in as you lift. You could keep rotating the chest up towards the sky. Maybe the left hand comes down towards the ground and you might flip both hands to find your Urdhva Dhanurasana. And then when you're ready, flip again, bring the hips down. Breathe in, plant the left hand. Lift your hips, maybe you stay here or you rotate your right hand down to the ground, left hand down to the ground. And then coming back down again. Don't worry, we'll have time to practice again on the other side. Start to roll yourself down until kind of the lumbar spine touches the ground. Lift the feet up. You could stay here. Maybe you start to kick the heels again. Stay with the hands reaching towards your feet, or clasp them together, push them up over your head. Try to lift the chest off the ground as much as you can. And at any point you can also have the knees bent here. Or take a rest. You know, that's always a great option. One more breath. Lower yourself down towards the ground, hands by your sides. Breathe in. Start to shift your hips back. You could just keep the feet above you, or you could take your feet towards the back of your mat, maybe even over your head for Halasana. We won't stay here for too long. Take another deep breath in. Cross the right foot in front of the left foot. As you exhale, roll yourself up, cross your feet over, but spin yourself towards the back of the mat, landing in downward facing dog. You can stay in downward facing dog or bring both elbows down towards the ground. Breathe in as you sweep your right toes high, three-legged dolphin, and you could stay here or start to look forward. Just hop yourself a little bit closer towards your elbows, and then you might take a little kick off into your Pincha Mayurasana. And it might be just little small kicks. You could also do this against a wall. As you start to feel more confident, you could kick up a little bit higher. You want to think about lifting the shoulders away from the ears, so you're engaging through the upper back. And you're pushing through the full forearm here. So your fingertips, your elbow, all the way down. Remember, elbows wanting kind of in line with the shoulder, not too wide, otherwise it's going to not engage our shoulders as much as we need to. Feel free to keep playing with this otherwise. Breathe in, sweep the right toes high again. As you roll forward, lift up the elbows, tap the right knee to the right wrist, and then slide the right shin down. Walk the left foot back. So setting up for our pigeon pose. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, fold into Kapotanasana. Elbows might come down. And you could stay here, or you could find a variation of a twist where you thread the left hand towards the right. Bind the back, aiming to bind with your left foot, sorry, your right foot. Just taking 2 more breaths here, finding a little bit more stillness before we enter that flow one more time. And starting to walk your hands back a little bit. Sweep your left leg around. We're going to do that all on the other side. This time we'll start with our left hand behind us if you wanted to try those sweeps. Push through the feet, lift the hips, maybe you stay here or you start to circle the right hand behind you. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, lower the hips down, right hand comes behind. Breathe in, left hand up. You just take this where you want to go right now. One more time each side in your own pace. If you are feeling pretty open, I have a variation for you that you might like to try. So you might push up, find your way into wheel, kind of pushing your hips forward. And you might stay here, or you could try wiggle one of your hands back. One of your elbows might come down to the ground. And then maybe the other elbow comes down as well. That wasn't the most graceful of demonstrations, but it's a very intense opening through the shoulders and the upper back. And then to come out, you can just roll yourself down or try press yourself back up. And then come back down. Okay. Keep practicing if you're still going. When you feel ready, roll yourself down until the lower spine meets on the ground. Start to take some kicks. So practicing core work is actually a really great way to help balance out the spine, especially if we've done quite intense back bends. We'll just stay here for 2 more breaths. And then roll yourself down onto the ground. Bring your feet up above your hips and maybe you stay here or hands by your sides. Start to lift your hips, taking the feet up and over the head to find Halasana. This time cross the left foot in front of the right. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, roll yourself up across through the feet, but pivot towards the front of the mat. So you're turning towards your right, downward facing dog. Maybe you stay here or bring one elbow down, maybe the other elbow. Sweep the left toes high, 3-legged dolphin, and you might stay here or start to look forward, bend your right knee and take a couple of little hops. And it's totally okay to fall over, to make a little bit of a fall out of yourself. Again, if you're scared about falling over and you're not quite comfortable about how to get out, maybe you try up against a wall so that you have something to catch you behind you, or you can, you can try it with a partner. Totally up to you. Okay, when you're ready, sweep the left toes high again, 3-legged dolphin. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, pick up the elbows, draw the left knee towards the left wrist. Lower the feet down. Walk your right foot behind you. Deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, walk yourself forward. Maybe elbows towards the ground. Setting up for Kapottanasana. If you wanted to take that twist variation, you can, twisting the right hand towards the left. One more breath. And start to walk yourself back. Shift your weight into your left hip and then sweep both of your legs around. Extend the legs forward. Take a deep breath in. Try to lift tall through the spine. Flex the toes back. As you exhale, lean yourself forward into Paschimottanasana. Knees might be bent here. They might be a little bit longer. And just notice the difference between how this feels compared to when you did it at the beginning of the class. Take 3 more breaths here. Counting each breath as it comes in and out through the nose. Your hands are going to wrap around either the back of the right leg, that might be the calf, the thigh, or maybe it can reach towards the foot. Start to lift yourself up. We're going to roll ourselves down onto our back. Maybe keeping the hands where they are, although know that you can walk them down a little bit further. You can bend your right knee as much as you need here. Try tuck the chin in a little bit. Maybe the toes have room to creep back a little bit more. You could think about kicking your right heel out to make this pose a little bit more active. One more breath. A couple of options for where we go next. You can either bend the right knee to find half happy baby, or maybe you extend the right leg out a little bit more. Or maybe you play with both. You could kind of bend the right knee, pulling in and out. And then either keeping the knee bent or long, start to transfer it over towards the left to find a supine twist. Right hand extends out towards the side, letting the eye gaze drop down. And at any point you can also extend the right leg out along as well. Start to roll yourself back through center. Maybe you grab the back of the legs to roll yourself up. I'm going to do the same thing but on the left. So taking the hands around the back of the left leg or the back of the left foot. Lift yourself up, make yourself tall, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, roll yourself down your back. Bending your left knee as much as you need here to make this feel accessible and where you can breathe and feel comfortable. And either keeping the left leg long or you can bend it, finding half happy baby or extending the left leg out a little bit more. And changing the focus from the hamstrings into the adductors. The inner of the leg. One more breath. And then either bending the left knee or you can keep it long. Start to twist it towards the right. Left hand extends out to the side. Eye gaze rolls down the left hand. Left shoulder connects to the ground. And then finding your way back through center. Maybe we head straight into Savasana, or if there are any other movements that your body is calling for today, you can move into those. We want to make sure that we feel kind of full and restful for this time of stillness. When you do feel ready to rest, invite the eyes to close down. Tuck the chin in a little bit. We'll just be here for another few minutes. I'll let you know when it's time to transition out. Take about 3 deep breaths here. Starting to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Eventually we'll make our way up into a seat. And feel free to take any movements that you'd like along the way. And we will finish in our seat with just another minute of quiet. If you've noticed your mind float away the last couple of minutes, encourage it to come back here in your breath, in your experience on the mat. Maybe keeping the hands in the lap, or you can bring them towards heart center. Take a moment for yourself for turning up to this practice and staying until the end. And I thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you had fun and explored a little bit. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. And from me to you, namaste. I look forward to practicing with you again sometime soon, maybe here or on Patreon. If you wanted a couple of longer classes like that, you can head down below. I'll link it down there. It's also a great place that you can support me in this channel and creating this content for you guys.